the name brands, at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/joy. That's forhims.com/joy for your free online visit. forhims.com/JOY.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
What about that tone makes me believe that Julius Randle is one of the leaders of this team? Maybe they wanted more. You're damn right they wanted it more.
Wake up and get up with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Greg in Virginia, you're on KJM.
Y'all have an awesome show. Listen every morning. J. Will, got a love-hate relationship with you, man. 82 with you. I love you now.
GJ and Max. Weekday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Coming up Thursday, the Celtics were able to stave off elimination, but do they have enough to force a Game 6? Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
You want to mess with me? Go listen to what I just taught her and Rich last week. Holla.
Don't really know what he's saying there at the end, nor does it really matter.
Paul Feinbaum, weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and the SEC Network.
The Women's College World Series.
Ready to raise a ruckus in Oklahoma City.
8 teams and a world of possibility.
They are picking up the bats. You don't get out of your seat. You don't blink.
Softball's best compete for the ultimate crown.
A championship is contested on the grandest stage in softball.
The NCAA Women's College World Series, presented by Capital One, begins June 1st on ESPN.
This weekend on ESPN Radio, it's a showdown in the National League East.
Kyle Schwarber, and this place is going bananas.
Kyle Schwarber and the Philadelphia Phillies begin a 10-game road trip in Atlanta when they go head-to-head against the NL East leading Braves. The Philadelphia Phillies at the Atlanta Braves. Coverage begins Saturday at 3:30 Eastern and Sunday at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio. You can also listen on the ESPN app and on your smart speaker.
FX's Mayans returns for the final season.
When I said I'd bleed for you, I meant it. Our enemies have finally shown some life.
Experience the intensity of one last ride.
They came to my house and threatened my family. We're done.
No, just getting started.
FX's Mayans, the final season, only Wednesdays on FX and stream on Hulu.
Thursday on Fitz and Harry, we're going to get you set for Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Tell you why Miami feels right at home in Boston.
Plus, one NFL team that made the playoffs last year that won't this year.
Fitz and Harry, Thursday, noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and watch on the ESPN app.
Thursday on Canty and Carlin, Game 5 up in Boston, but I'll tell you why the Heat are going to wrap it up.
Plus, we'll tell you why a trip to the finals is not the biggest thing at stake for Coach Joe Mazzulla.
It's Thursday, Canty and Carlin, 3 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and SiriusXM Channel 80.
Now on SportsCenter all night. Patrick Mahomes isn't worried about the money.
Me, my agent, and the team always keep open communication. And we try to do whatever is the best for the team, but obviously I want to do the best for myself as well. I've always said I worry about legacy and winning rings more than making money at this moment.
Lamar Jackson reacts to the new offense in Baltimore.
Winning can only take you so far, and I feel like with this new era of teams and offenses in the league, I feel like we need that in Coach Todd Monken. What I'm saying, his offense so far is looking tremendous.
The Panthers look to sweep on the road to the Stanley Cup.
Bloomberg, and he scores, and the Panthers take a 3-2 lead.
OTAs are underway in the NFL.
For me, I'm just trying to get better. It's not about being with the ones, it's not about being with the twos, it's about getting better. This is what the spring is for.
Plus, we go around the diamond with the MLB. This is Sports Center All Night.
TJ Uzama was walking next to me and he said he never watched the show. I said, how can you not watch the show? One of the greatest shows back when MTV used to actually, have content on it.
Here's Jay Reynolds.
Greatest shows? Sports Center All Night, ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. A night ago, there was a chance for a sweep in South Florida. Didn't happen. And Thursday, we're getting Game 5. Wednesday, another chance for a sweep to take place in South Florida. Panthers, a 3-0 series lead going into their Game 4 with the Hurricanes. Panthers leading the series and the game. They were up 3-2 until Carolina would tie it up with 3.5 minutes to go. Then, with a minute to go in the third period, Carolina's Jordan Stahl is called for tripping, sent to the box. That put Florida on the power play.
Barkov right circle, down to the goal line, Kachuk in front shot. He scores! He scores! He scores! Matthew Kachuk, a power play goal! It's 4-3 Panthers with 4.3 seconds to go in regulation time. The Panthers take a 4-3 lead in the waning seconds. A power play goal for Matthew Kachuk. And the Panthers are 4.3 seconds away from an Eastern Conference championship.
The goal at 19:55 of the third period. That goal coming with just under 5 seconds to go. And it gives the Panthers the conference championship, 560 WQAM. Panthers have 12 wins this postseason, 6 of the 12 in overtime. Panthers 4-3 win in Game 4 to sweep the series. Matthew Kachuk, 2 goals, now has 9 this postseason. 2 goals in the win, including the go-ahead goal. That was the game winner. He now has 21 points this postseason. ESPN analyst Chris Chelios.
Confidence goes a long way, but you say that, but I watched this interview after the game, and I think once they beat Boston, and I've been on the other side of it when we've been the first place team playing the 8th state team. Once they beat us, Calgary 1 year, Edmonton, right to the finals. They felt like they could beat anybody. And that's the situation I think that Matthew talked about and his teammates. They really believe in themselves that once they did beat Boston, there's no one they can't beat. And Matthew's case, like, your top players got to be your best guys. And it doesn't matter how many chances you got to finish. It doesn't matter if you deserve to win the game or not. You get outplayed. They get the big goals and game-winning goals like Matthew's done. That's what playoffs are all about, and that's how you end up in the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, Walt's progeny, they can play the game for sure.
Yeah.
Panthers, as you mentioned, last team in the East. They're going to go through there in the Stanley Cup final. Most likely, they're going to get Vegas, regardless of who they get. Why is this team set up that they could all get their names on the cup?
Well, you got 2 guys in the team right now that I got my vote for Conn Smythe. That's Bobrovsky and Matthew Kachuk. So you've got a goaltender that's putting up numbers, like historic numbers from the playoffs. And you got Matthews on fire. I think I look back at Cale Makar, what he did last year with Colorado.
Yep.
Well, it could take one guy to get that hot to carry a team through the playoffs. And I really believe as well structured as Vegas is, and it's going to be a heck of a series. It's it's not like Dallas really, they were in a couple games, but they really they didn't deserve any games. Carolina might have deserved a couple games, but again, they're playing with so much confidence. The Panthers, they're going to be tough to beat.
Vegas still has to finish that thing off, but right now they go through the Bruins, the Leafs, and the Hurricanes. Now they just got to stay sharp because they got a long layoff until they play Game 1 of the Stanley Cup. It's not until a week from Saturday.
The rest is always good at this point. And Barkov, whatever injuries nagging him, he's such an important piece of their team. Also, captain, leader, does everything in both ends. So rest is going to be great for that team.
Panthers complete the sweep, getting the game-winning goal with 5 seconds to go. Last 8 playoff games have been decided by 1 goal, tied with 5 other teams for the second longest run of 1-goal games in a single postseason. As for the Hurricanes, 12th straight loss in the conference finals or league semifinal round dating back to 2009. That extends the record for the longest losing streak in this round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. They lose all 4 games of this series, but did they get swept? Carolina coach Rod Brindamore.
He's going to look back and everyone's going to say you got swept. And that's not what happened. I watched the game. I'm there. I'm cutting the game. We're in the game. That we didn't lose 4 games. We got beat, but it's, we were right there, and this could have went the other way, and it could have been 4 games the other way. And tonight, the way it ended is tough. Getting a penalty like that, that's tough. Especially what was let go, and then that's gonna sting. But not to take anything away from the other team because they played hard, but I think we took a huge steps this year. Coming this far, like I said, with what we were missing is pretty impressive.
Yeah, certainly could have gone the other way, sure. But for the record, Carolina did lose 4 games. They were swept in the series. Panthers get either the Stars or the Vegas Knights. Vegas, a 3-0 series lead there. Game 4 Thursday in Dallas, 8 o'clock Eastern. You'll see it on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Right now, Sports Center all night.
Lamar Jackson has spoken for the first time since he got his new deal.
It was the best thing for Lamar to have the opportunity to kind of get a sense for what was important to him, and he could have conversations if he wanted with other teams to see what his value might be, and he could get a chance to talk to other coaches or GMs if he wanted to.
To be honest with you, I really didn't care for other teams, really. I just really wanted to get something down here. I wanted to be here. Like, man, okay, other teams cool, but I want to be a Raven.
We are in the midst of OTAs around the NFL. Patriots stripped of 2 days of organized team activities due to a violation of off-season rules. Thursday's OTA, in addition to another one next week, taken away as part of the violation, according to sources. For Baltimore, Lamar Jackson had his first practice with the Ravens and their new offensive coordinator, Todd Monken. Head coach John Harbaugh likes that he's there.
I knew he was going to come in sometime right around now. And for him to be here is great. He was into the meetings, locked in. The last 2 days been completely locked in, and he's getting back with the guys and everything. So it's a good thing.
New offense is smooth, more verbiage than usual. I like it. I'm loving it so far. Just being able to throw the ball down the field. Running can only take you so far. I feel like with this new era of teams and offenses in the league, I feel like we need that. And Coach Todd Monken, what I'm seeing his offense so far is looking tremendous.
Lamar Jackson sneaking a little line in there. Running can only take you so far. Interesting comments as he works on the new playbook. ESPN's Jeff Darlington.
You heard it right there from Lamar Jackson. And no, he is not necessarily trying to take a shot at former offensive coordinator Greg Roman, but we know what went down with the Ravens. For instance, when Marquise Brown, the former wide receiver, was traded to Arizona and made very clear that the offense under Roman did not favor deep threat wide receivers. In this situation with Todd Monken, the Ravens can't stop talking about it. Lamar Jackson can't stop talking about it. They now have weapons in Odell Beckham Jr., drafted Zay Flowers. They added Nelson Aguilar. So now we have a system in place that will cater to the pass. Certainly something to be excited about if you're a Ravens fan. Now, though, it's about executing and Lamar Jackson proving that he's not just a scrambling quarterback.
Lamar Jackson saying he's pleased with the direction of the new scheme and believes a philosophical change was what was needed. Lamar Jackson, new deal with Baltimore. Patrick Mahomes, not the top paid quarterback in the NFL, no longer even in the top 5 in salary on a per year basis. But asked about it Wednesday, he doesn't seem all that bitter.
Yeah, I mean, I always keep, me and my agent and the team always keep open communication. And we try to do whatever is the best for the team, but obviously I want to do the best for myself as well. But at the same time, I've always said I worry about legacy and winning rings more than making money at this moment. But I know we keep communication. We see what's going on around the league. But at the same time, I'll never do anything that's going to hurt us from keeping the great players around me. So it's kind of teetering around that line. Everybody wants to get paid a lot of money, and whenever they think they're the best at their craft, they want to get paid like that. But at the same time, if you look at the greats in the league, I mean, they found that right spot where they're getting paid a lot of money, but at the same time keeping a lot of these great players around me. And so I understand you look at the team, and you got guys like Chris and Snead and even Travis, all these guys that you need to keep around you to have these great teams. But at the same time, you want to make sure you're taking care of yourself. So we have open communication. I think that's the biggest thing. And you see that from Clark, you see that from Coach Reed, you see that from Veach and everybody. Is we just try to make sure that we have the best team on that football field and everybody gets what they deserve.
Mahomes wants to help the Chiefs, but other quarterbacks around the league as well wants to help them out too.
You just want to do whatever to not hurt other quarterbacks whenever their contracts come up. But you want to kind of keep the bar pushing. And so it's not about being the highest paid guy. It's not about making a ton of money. I've made enough money where I'll be set for the rest of my life. But at the same time, you got to find that line where you're making a good amount of money, but you're still keeping a lot of great players around you so you can win these Super Bowls and you're able to compete in these games.
Mahomes has seen his annual salary drop to 7th among the league's quarterback, but not troubled by it. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio.
Feast downloaded Gordon at the rim and one on the two-hand stuff. They got the switch. Gordon had Reeves down low and a chance for three. Jokic on the drive, got deep and scored for the lead with 51.7 to go. The Denver Nuggets have finally done it in their 47th season in the NBA. The Denver Nuggets are going to the NBA Finals.
To have an opportunity to play in the NBA Finals, we'll remember for the rest of our life.
We have half of the NBA Finals. Denver completing the sweep of the Lakers this week. Now they await the winner of the Eastern Conference Finals. Heat, Celtics, Game 5 tonight in Boston. Miami took the first 3 of the series before Boston staved off elimination and won Game 4 to send the series back north to New England. ESPN analyst Tim Legler.
First of all, this is the one time I've seen Boston in this series resemble the team that I saw at the beginning of the year when it was the best team in basketball. They finally put it all together on both ends. And it started with the three-point shooting because this is really where they kill teams, right? They've got these two phenomenal individual offensive talents. They play off of those guys. And when they start moving the ball and hitting threes and they get made threes out of their role players, they're a completely different team. And in Game 4, they had 4 different guys make 3 or more threes that weren't named Jason Tatum. That is a huge supplemental offense, and it's really their style of play finally came to fruition in this series. And then I think their shot making energized their defense in that second half, particularly that third quarter. You started seeing them fly around the court, blocks, steals, deflections. They had 16 blocks and steals, numerous deflections. It triggered their ability to get out in the open floor. But it's strange because a lot of times your defense will create easy offense for you. It was the exact opposite in this game. I think their shot making finally energized them on the other end of the floor, and it was the first time this looked like a legitimate 2 seed in the Eastern Conference in this series.
And now they're an 8-point favorite at home, where they're just 10-11 over the last 2 postseasons, and they've lost 2 in this series on their home court already. What's the key here for Miami to lock in and get it done in 5?
Well, I think, first of all, anytime you go on the road in a big spot, turnovers are key. Eric Spoelstra was talking about their carelessness with the basketball in Game 4. It's even more important when you go on the road because turnovers lead to transition. Transition baskets are what get the crowd going and create that environment in Boston. So you got to take care of the basketball first and foremost. And then secondly, your transition defense has to be much better. I thought the Celtics played with incredible pace. And when they push the ball up the floor, that's when now you get guys walking into threes. You get the ability to drive, kick multiple times, have Miami chase the basketball. If the Heat can force Boston to play more possessions against their half-court defense, they've got a great shot because Miami's half-court defense has been the best in the NBA in the postseason. They are 5 guys on a string, but when Boston plays early, they're going to get clean looks, and now some of those shooters get confidence early in the game. So on the road, take care of the ball and make Boston play half-court style of basketball.
Tune in tonight for Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Celtics Heat, presented by Indeed, coverage at 8 o'clock Eastern on most ESPN radio stations and on Sirius XM Channel 80. They both go yard. They can't lose. That's next. Sports Center All Night continues. It's ESPN Radio.
Coming up Thursday, is Sam Howell really an NFL starting quarterback? Is Jared Goff good enough to lead the Lions to playoff success? Keyshawn, J. Will, and of course Max. 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
This is Sports Center All Night on ESPN Radio.
Houston Methodist Hospital has always and will always invest in its people. As a leading healthcare organization, Houston Methodist recognizes that supporting its team is at the heart of providing unrivaled care. Houston Methodist Hospital is currently hiring for registered nurses and nurse leaders across specialties. Join Houston Methodist Hospital in the heart of innovation in the Texas Medical Center. To learn more and apply for a nurse job, text HMH to 45991.
The CCA Texas Star Fishing Tournament, Memorial Weekend to Labor Day. Fish all summer to win a Ford F-150 truck and boat package, or any of over 120 prizes in 7 divisions. That's over $1 million in prizes and scholarships. Sponsored by Texas Ford dealers, Tilson Homes, Academy Sports and Outdoors, Shoalwater Boats, and Mustang Cat. There's a winner spotted. Is it you? Sign up at startournament.org. Sign up now.
Hi, this is Earl Ron. I'm the president of New South Window Solutions. What I'd like people to understand about our company is what's unique about us. We manufacture, we install, we guarantee. We go out of our way to make it easy. The most important thing that New South offers is very simple, absolutely true factory direct pricing. From our factory to our truck to your driveway. Most other window companies are either resellers, a wholesaler, a contractor, a distributor, a sales organization. We eliminate those levels of marketing, so you're paying true factory direct pricing. Please take the time to visit newsouthwindow.com.
Call now 1-800-NEW-WINDOWS.
Summer gifting season is on the way, and whether you're shopping for grads or looking for an early gift for dad, you'll find what you need at HPB. And you'll get almost everything for an extra 20% off during the Half Price Books Memorial Day sale. Prepare your shelves. The sale is only in stores this Saturday through Monday at HPB. Offer cannot be combined with other coupons. Exclusions apply. To learn more and find your local half-price bookstore, visit hpb.com.
When it comes to buying your first home, everyone has questions.
Can we even afford to buy a house right now? Well, I need to negotiate. How do I even negotiate?
Luckily, a RE/MAX agent has answers.
Hey, Brian, those are really good questions.
They are? Thanks. It's my first time buying.
I work with first-time buyers all the time. I got you.
RE/MAX agents have more experience than other real estate agents. Visit RE/MAX.com or download the RE/MAX app to find the right agent. The right agent can lead the way. Each office independently owned and operated.
Hi, it's Jan from Toyota. Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can go out and make all sorts of unforgettable memories that make summer, summer. Like catching a road game in a RAV4. I got it! I got it! I got it! Or cruising in a Camry to enjoy some ice cream by the beach. Before getting attacked by a flock of hungry seagulls.
It's yours! Take it! Toyota. Let's go places. Event ends May 31st. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary.
We just went to Ross and found tons of savings on brand name clothes at prices as low as...
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to tell them how they can save on versatile spring looks that go from day to night.
Oh, sorry. I just didn't know Ross had all these brands.
Yes.
For less.
Not sure what to listen to next? Well, here's this week's top 3 things to listen on TuneIn.
Don't miss out on one of the most exhilarating events of the year. Experience every lap of the Indy 500. Need some relaxation in your life? Try out Calm Radio's Rebalance, a 10-minute binaural frequency tone to calm your mind and relax. Get your fix of the world news anytime with Sky News. Available now on TuneIn.
Find these and more trending items on the homepage of TuneIn.
The great symphonies and the most moving chamber compositions are all on TuneIn Sounds of the Symphony Station. Listen to the world's sweeping masterworks from the greats like Mozart, Beethoven,
SportsCenter All Night continues with Jay Reynolds.
SportsCenter All Night presented by Progressive Insurance. Oakland has seen a slew of losses of late. Wednesday, no exception. The A's and the state of Nevada reaching a tentative deal on their Las Vegas plan. It includes an agreement for stadium funding plan after weeks of negotiations about how much public assistance the state would be contributing to the $1.5 billion ballpark. The funding bill does need to be approved by both the state Senate and the Assembly in Nevada. Oakland in the process of losing the Athletics, and the A's continue their process of losing. Mariners a 6-1 win. Bryce Miller for Seattle gets the win, 6 innings of 2-hit ball, striking out 6. First pitcher since the mound was moved to its current distance to go 6 innings and allow 4 or fewer hits in each of his first 5 career appearances. By the way, the mound was moved to 60 feet 6 inches in 1893. No matter where the mound is, seems like there's a couple of guys who are going to keep going yard.
And the pitch. This is hit high in the air, and it's traveling deep out into left center field, out by the wall, and it's out of here. Boy, Shohei, who looked so bad in that first at-bat against Paxton, the first time he ever faced him in the bottom of the first tonight, comes back and takes one out of the ballpark. Here's the delivery on Trout, swings at that one and lifts the ball high and deep out into left center field. At the wall, it's Trout here. Trout, he's had 2 hits in this series. They've each left the ballpark.
Angels Radio AM 830. Angels a 7-3 win over the Red Sox to complete the sweep. First time sweeping the Red Sox since July of 2015. Shohei Ohtani 1 for 4. You heard the 1 was his home run. Mike Trout also homers for the 1 in his 1 for 4. Ohtani and Trout, since Ohtani joined the Angels in 2018, he and Trout have hit a home run in the same game 26 times. Angels are 4-0 this season when the two of them homer in the same game. Red Sox, meanwhile, 4th consecutive loss, tie for their longest losing streak this season. In New York, what a late rally from the Orioles.
The 1-1. Frazier hits this high in the air into right field, hooking down the line towards the pole. It's off the pole. It's a 3-run homer. An Earl Weaver special, and Baltimore's very much in this game. 5-4 New York. The pitch. Hayes rips this into left field. That's down for a base hit. And walking home is Santander. The Orioles score another run. Wow. At Yankee Stadium, 9-5 Baltimore.
They would go on to win it 9-6. Orioles scoring 8 runs in the 7th inning after trailing 5-1. The 8 runs in the 7th, most runs scored in an inning this season. You heard it on WBAL. Orioles' 4th comeback win when trailing by 4 runs or more. That's the most in Major League Baseball. For the Yankees, their 2nd 4-run blown lead this season. They had blown a 4-run lead 3 times in all of 2022. In Atlanta, the Braves say, well, let's walk it off.
1-2. And he hits one high in the air to right field. Back goes Betts. He's under it. Makes the catch. Tagging from third, Riley. Here he comes. Bring the noise. Braves win it. A walk-off sac fly by Ozzie. And the Braves take down the Dodgers 4-3.
680 the Fan, 4-3 the final. Braves' 4th walk-off win this season. Tied for the most in Major League Baseball. Their manager, Brian Snitker.
That's a big win. I mean, going to lose the series like that, and but they're all big. And it was just good to come back after we lost the lead, and any of those things like that, to maybe, that little confidence and whatever when you're scuffling a little bit, not hit on all cylinders. And so that's real good.
Things getting interesting late in the Phillies Diamondbacks matchup as well. Phillies trailed 5-3 with 2 outs in the 9th inning.
Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit high in the air, left field. Carroll's back, track, wall, and it is gone. Game tied. Trey Turner has tied us up. His 5th home run of the season, and it's 5-5 in the bottom of the 9th.
And they would go to the 10th inning.
Winning run at 3rd. That's Dalton Guthrie. Ruiz kicks and deals in the pitch. Swung on, lifted deep, right center field. Smith going back, looking up, and it's on the track and down for a hit. Guthrie has scored, and the Phillies have won it.
Sports Radio 94 WIP, 6-5 the final. Phillies trailed by 2 with 2 outs in the 9th inning, and they come back to win it. What a change we're seeing in the Western Conference Final. That's next. Sports Center All Night continues. It's ESPN Radio.
Greeny.
He is a player who is prone to injury as the season goes on. He's going to wind up being one of the greatest players ever, never to win a championship.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Want to save money this summer? Of course I do. Well, at Pilot Flying J, you can save 10 cents on every gallon of gas. Just text SAVE10 to 26494.
Say that again.
You can save 10 cents a gallon.
No, that other part. Text SAVE10 to 26494? Yes! And all I have to do is text?
You got it. Text SAVE10 to 26494 and save 10 cents a gallon all summer long at Pilot Flying J. Messaging and data rates apply. By texting, you consent to Pilot Flying J auto marketing SMS. Consent not required for purchase. Limited time. Terms and conditions apply.
Houston Methodist Hospital has always and will always invest in its people. As a leading healthcare organization, Houston Methodist recognizes that supporting its team is at the heart of providing unrivaled care. Houston Methodist Hospital is currently hiring for registered nurses and nurse leaders across specialties. Join Houston Methodist Hospital in the heart of innovation in the Texas Medical Center. To learn more and apply for a nurse job, text HMH to 45991.
Give the gift of relaxation year-round thanks to the amazing experience waiting for you at Woodhouse Day Spa. Hey, it's Adam, and whether you're picking up a gift card for that special someone or need some serious me time, Woodhouse Day Spa is here for you with 3 Houston area locations and an endless list of ways to relax, from massages, facials, body treatments, and all points in between. Life is short. Make today the day you leave that stress behind by going to HoustonWoodhouseSpas.com. That's HoustonWoodhouseSpas.com.
Step into the world of hidden wonders, Natural Bridge Cavern's newest tour. As you journey deep into the earth, you'll discover new areas of this natural underground masterpiece. Inside, thousands of lights reveal stunning formations and a massive canyon with an incredible sound and light show finale. Then, at the end of your tour, you'll ride back to the surface on the BAT, our belt-assisted transport. Visit naturalbridgecaverns.com today for tickets to your Hidden Wonders adventure.
Whether you're looking to buy or sell with a RE/MAX agent, they'll use their years of experience to help you plan for now and later. From when this,
welcome to your new home, baby girl,
turns into this.
Yeah, we're gonna need a bigger home.
And this,
oh, I hate this place,
turns into this.
I'm really gonna miss this place.
From tiny steps to your next big move. When you're ready to make a change, visit RE/MAX.com or download the RE/MAX app to find the right agent. The right agent can lead the way. Each office independently owned and operated.
Your taste buds will be best buds with the newest flavor from Bluebell, Dr. Pepper Float Ice Cream. Its unique blend of the rich taste of creamy Bluebell vanilla ice cream swirled together with the one-of-a-kind flavor of delicious Dr. Pepper. 2 iconic brands, 1 delicious ice cream float. Treat yourself to a pint or half-gallon today.
At Frost Bank, we believe young people are fearless. Look at the 2 biggest tech companies, both created by people under 25. Or when the world's biggest band flew over from England, they were all under 25. Our youngest customers are capable of amazing achievements, but they're still figuring out who they are. So we help by waiving the monthly service charge on certain accounts for account holders under age 25. It's about supporting the next generation. It's about more than money. Frost Bank.
Digitally Imported is streaming on TuneIn. Enjoy all of your favorite electronic music, from house to trance, techno to dubstep, all expertly curated and in high definition. Wind down and focus with stations like Lo-Fi Lounge and Chill, Jazz House, Space Dreams, and more. Search Digitally Imported and find your vibe today.
Life can be stressful, but because May is Mental Health Awareness Month, we're bringing you
SportsCenter All Night continues with Jay Reynolds.
SportsCenter All Night presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, RV, and more. In short, a lot of things. Bundled today at progressive.com.
Half-hour headlines on SportsCenter All Night.
Braves get their 4th walk-off win of the season. Celtics look to stave off elimination again when they take the floor again tonight for Game 5. Panthers do advance as they complete a sweep in the Eastern Conference.
Kachuk in first shot. He scores! He scores! Matthew Kachuk, a power play goal! It's 4-3 Panthers with 4.3 seconds to go. This one's over. The Florida Panthers are going to the Stanley Cup Final.
Nothing rattles us. It's going to be the best few weeks of our lives, hopefully. So something that we're all really excited for.
Matthew Tkachuk with 2 goals, including the go-ahead power play goal at 19:55 of the third period. Just under 5 seconds to go, and the Panthers close out the Hurricanes with a 4-3 win to sweep the series. Matthew Tkachuk now has 21 points this postseason. First player in Panthers history with 20 points or more in a single playoff year. Panthers advancing to the Stanley Cup Final for the second time in franchise history. The other instance was 1996 when they lost to Colorado in 4 games. But this year, Florida now 11-1 in their last 12 games after trailing 3-1 in the first round series against Boston. They've had a couple of seminal moments along the way. Their coach, Paul Maurice, with our Scott Van Pelt.
From that night in Toronto where you gave up a late lead with a goal and you gave the boys a talking to, from then until now, if you could help our viewers and me understand how this incredible run has all come together, how would you describe that?
So from that point on, and I don't remember most of what I said, it wasn't appropriate, but there was a handoff between the coaches and the players. Right? The most important thing is the players drive the room, they run the room. We've got a good, interesting, unique set of men in there, and they just kind of took it over. So the X's and O's that we do for a living aren't that important. The character of the men, but maybe most importantly, the bond between them is the most important thing. And you can see it in the joy these guys had. They're just wonderful, wonderful people. So very proud of them.
When you're in the midst of something like this, as someone, Paul, who's seen so much that this sport can be, how much do you personally appreciate what your room is right now?
Look at every guy in that room's got about 12 nicknames, and that's the sign, that's the tell, right? They've got all of these inside jokes. They're laughing all the time. They've accepted the fact that they're going to get on the ice, they're going to play as hard as they possibly can. And after that, it's just about enjoying each other, and they do both as well as any team I've ever coached.
Matthew Tkachuk is on a heater that's just defies description. In a sport where, you know, the odd bounce, you just never know, but he seems to always find himself at the absolute right place at the absolute right time. What has he been doing for you, particularly in this most recent series, Paul?
We used to curse him when I was in Winnipeg and he was in Calgary because he did the same thing. This guy's unusual to the extreme. His ability to come up with these incredible plays, the poise of that goal right there, to pull it back one more time and find the spot. Guys have big goals in their career. He just has a huge number of them, and he just keeps doing it and delivering it. But that's not the best part of Matthew Tkachuk. It's not the game. It's the way he treats his teammates. So go back to that room. He's a key piece to it.
Florida Panthers now into the Stanley Cup Finals after completing their first best-of-7 series sweep in franchise playoff history. They had lost Game 4 in each of the other 2 previous instances where they had a 3-0 lead. They beat the Hurricanes 4-3 with the game-winning goal coming with 5 seconds to go in Game 4. And they advance to the Stanley Cup Finals. SportsCenter All Night ESPN Radio. Panthers will get the winner of the Western Conference, either Vegas or Dallas. Stars are trailing that series 0-3. And their captain, Jamie Benn, has been hit with a 2-game suspension after his vicious cross-check 2 minutes into Game 3.
Just unfortunate play. I think I just need to be more responsible with my body and my stick and, put my team in a tough situation. So obviously would have liked to not fall on him and I guess use my stick as a landing point. Emotions are high and, it's just an unfortunate play.
Jamie Benn with that cross-check while Mark Stone was down on the ice and Ben was tossed minute 53 into Game 3. And it was a move that the league determined was done, quote, with sufficient intent and forced to merit supplemental discipline. That's why he got the 2-game suspension. ESPN's Emily Kaplan.
Ben's teammates were defending him after Game 3, calling him a great leader, the heart and soul of the team. But Stars coach Pete DeBoer seemed to understand the fate of his captain. Before this decision, he said, "Our team will accept the consequences." Ben had a virtual hearing with the Department of Player Safety, and they determined pretty quickly this was an unnecessarily dangerous play by Ben. They said he was in control at all times and delivered a forceful hit on a player in a vulnerable position. I'm told because the head and neck were involved, it was clear and simple. Now, Ben has played more than 1,000 career NHL games, no suspensions to this point, but he does have 4 previous fines. And if the next game is the Stars' last, this suspension will carry over to opening night of next season.
Could be quite the lengthy suspension. 2 games being handed down on Wednesday. Earlier Wednesday, as you heard, Ben taking responsibility, calling it a heat-of-the-moment play. SportsCenter all night. ESPN Radio, back to the NBA. Ja Morant, physically fine. However, police in Tennessee did conduct a welfare check on him on Wednesday. The check was made after some cryptic messages on his Instagram story, including one that simply said, "bye." Ultimately, it may have been a signal that he was stepping away from social media. Morant was suspended from all Grizzlies activities following that video of him holding a gun that circulated on social media in mid-May.
In their 47th season in the NBA, the Denver Nuggets are going to the NBA Finals, and they take out the Lakers in a 4-game sweep.
Obviously frustrated not being able to close out one of these games where you were in every game. Just couldn't make plays down the stretch. So that's the frustrating part.
Obviously, it hurts right now, especially the way, we lost not only tonight, but I think we gave away 3 games. It's tough.
We have 3 teams remaining in contention for an NBA title. Heat and Celtics playing Game 5 tonight. You'll hear it here on ESPN Radio. Our coverage starts at 8 o'clock Eastern. And, of course, the Nuggets are already there, having eliminated the Lakers. And, of course, after the sweep, LeBron James hinted at a possible retirement. ESPN insider Brian Windhorst.
I don't think he's seriously considering it. I do think it's on his mind, and we may be at the beginning of we go year to year with LeBron, and we may have to wait a while after the seasons for him to make a decision. I also know, guys, it was the very end of a grueling postseason for him at the end of a difficult season. And so I'm not going to put too much stock into what he says in the minutes after. I'm also cognizant that LeBron is always working and always working angles, and what he may want with the Lakers roster may not be the exact same thing that the Lakers front office wants. So he's always had a 2-year plan after this year. He's under contract for 1 more year with the Lakers, $47 million, and then Bronny can enter the NBA, and he can either stay under contract for the Lakers for $50 million, or he can be a free agent and go wherever Bronny is. I don't see why he would change that plan, and I strongly suspect that's where he'll be come this fall.
I hate to bring this topic up, but I have to. Kyrie. He was at Game 4. He's been at multiple games, Brian, just sort of lurking, sort of in the background, as you know. How likely do you think it is that he winds up on the Lakers next year?
It sounds unlikely. And the reason I say that is because Rob Pelinka came out yesterday in his season-ending news conference, and he said his priority, his focus is on keeping the Lakers' young core together. Now, he didn't list off who's in that young core, but I can assume that it includes Rui Hachimura and Austin Reeves. And if the Lakers are intent on re-signing both of those players, they won't have room for Kyrie Irving. Now, maybe that's one of the things that LeBron is considering. If the Lakers were to cast off all the players that they picked up, they could still keep Reeves. But if they really worked and prioritized opening cap space, they could open about 30 to 35 million in space and still have AD, LeBron, and Reeves on the roster. That would still be a pretty big pay cut for Kyrie. But I think it behooves Kyrie to have the Lakers in the game. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's one of the reasons why he was showing up at these Laker games, because I don't think that the Mavericks intend to offer him a full max, the $47 million, which is where it's at. And I don't blame him for that, guys, because I'm not sure anybody else is going to either. So the more Kyrie can make it look like the Lakers are interested, the better offer he can potentially draw from Dallas. So I think that's all part of the game that we're seeing already start playing out ahead of July 1st.
Lakers with some decisions to make. this offseason. SportsCenter all night, ESPN Radio.
Now they trail 3-1 with Game 5 on Thursday back in Boston as they win Game 4.
We've played good basketball all season long, exception for this last 3 or 4 games, but we got to just keep going. It's not my turn. We got to get ready for the next one.
In the East, Celtics stave off elimination by winning Game 4 in Miami over the Heat. That sends the series back to Boston for tonight's Game 5. ESPN analyst J.J. Redick.
If I'm Boston, here's what I've got to do to win this series. Number one, you need Tatum elimination game. You need what he's been able to do over the 10 elimination games in his career, 30 points a game, 44% from three. You need three-point shooting. So far this series, Miami has been willing to live with Derek White, Al Horford, Grant Williams, Marcus Smart taking open threes. All 4 of those guys hit 3 or more last night. You need at least 3 of those guys to knock down multiple three-pointers. And then defensively, the connection that I talked about earlier, they need that defensively. You've got to be able to simultaneously contain Jimmy Butler and defend the three-point line.
We also heard Jaylen Brown going into Game 4 saying, don't let us get one. And, of course, the Celtics did. ESPN's Stephen A. Smith.
The chances are slim. Although I feel it's slim, I still say, wait a minute. Game 5 obviously is everything, but that shifts the pressure. Boston wins Game 5. I mean, we're talking about Game 6 in Miami. I mean, if you're Miami, you don't want to have a Game 7 forced in Boston after having a 3-0 lead when no one in the history of the sport has ever surrendered a 3-0 deficit. You don't want to be that team. And so I think because of that, I mean, so much comes down to Game 5. I think if this Game 5 is a legitimate shot, it could be a Game 7.
Stephen A. mentioning the pressure coming up in this game tonight to the guys at PTI.
All right, Wilbon, how much pressure is there on the Heat?
Not as much as there is on the Celtics. Even after that win last night, of course, the Celtics, they go out 4-1. You know, it's going to be a tough offseason, a tough summer in Boston around that club. But, the thing about these questions is there's pressure on both teams all the time. You got people being paid a lot of money. Reputations are at stake. Careers are at stake. Playing, coaching, executive level. So there's pressure all the time. But there's pressure on the favorite and the team that goes through a season coming off a championship or near championship run, Tony. And the Celtics were fueled by that. And so if they go out, whether it's, they can make a stand. If they go out in 6 or 7, it's still going out. So there's more pressure. As much as there is on the Heat, there's more on Boston.
Let's go to the history of the NBA. Teams that go down 0-3 are 0-150 when trying to win the series. 0-150. All of the pressure for Game 5 is on the Boston Celtics.
Yeah,
all of it. If it's 6, it's split. More goes on Miami than in Game 5. It's still on the Celtics. And 7, it's on both teams. But right now, the notion that the pressure is on Miami to go up to Boston to win, no. All of the pressure is on Boston. Boston, I believe, is 0-2 in Game 5s in these playoffs at home. So, yes, all of the pressure in Game 5. Don't even ask me about Miami. All of the pressure in Game 5 is on Boston.
And here's why we know that. Miami can't be eliminated in Game 5 or Game 6. Boston can be. They got the pressure still.
Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals right here on ESPN Radio. Our coverage begins at 8 o'clock Eastern tonight. He says he wants to be an NFL starter, but there's a but. That's next. SportsCenter All Night continues. It's ESPN Radio.
Coming up Thursday, should the Lakers consider rebuilding or reloading? How about the 76ers?